Assalamualaikum. We're back with video number 6, episode 6 in the series Heal Your Heart. And so in the last video I said that we were going to start on the disease of the heart, but we're actually not going to do that today. We're going to just go over 2 of the main root causes of the diseases where all the other ones kind of stem from. And so the first one, first let me just say, go pause this video, grab a notebook, grab a pen, pencil, whatever, make notes. It's going to be a lot of information in this video. And so for so the 2 main causes of the diseases can be boiled down to these 2 main root causes. So the first one is the love of the world, and number 2 is self-satisfaction. What is love of the world? As most of you already know, love of the world is all about the external, all about money, fame, like external things, material, all the material world, all the material things, basically. And then self-satisfaction is someone who is just satisfied with themselves. They think they're perfect. They don't have to improve on anything. Everyone else is a problem, but they make no mistakes and they're perfect. So those 2 are kind of where all the other diseases stem from. And if I can go in more detail about the self-satisfaction, there are 3 signs. So like I said, number 1, you care too much about yourself and not others. Number 2, you think you are perfect and everybody else is a problem. And number 3, you're too easy on yourself. You don't go outside your comfort zone. You don't challenge yourself, and so you're not growing. And one of the main points of tazkiyah, it means purification of the heart, but also means to grow. So that's another goal that we should have, is to grow as human beings, to always become better. Always think about your actions and your intentions. At the end of the day, you journal. Think about what you did, how you can improve. Think about, what did I do today and what was my intention behind it. Always evaluate what you're doing. Number 2, take care of your heart. Make sure you're aware of your feelings and emotions and what you're feeling on the inside, and respect those, because those are all signals from your heart giving you information. And number 3 is pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone and doing things that challenge you, because it's when you are challenged that you will become better. So even when you're exercising, you got to do exercises that are difficult in order for you to become stronger. And so even things that are challenging is like fasting, giving charity, whatever is difficult for you, try to do those things to challenge yourself. Always try to improve yourself, motivate yourself. And one way to do this is by knowing who you are. If you don't know your weaknesses, your strengths, then you're not going to be able to know what you can improve on. You need to know what your weaknesses are. So make sure you evaluate yourself. Find out what are your weaknesses and what areas can you improve on. Okay. Also, make sure you're aware of who your friends are, your surroundings. Who are you spending the most time with? And make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who are good and people who are going to make you better. 3 things to make note of, 3 things that will help you to fight this love of the world, is because love of the world is so external, we need to do the opposite and go within. So number 1, remember and be mindful of God always. You don't need to take time off to do that. You can do that while you're driving, while you're laying down, while you're just walking outside, while you're exercising. You can always be doing dhikr and thinking about God and be mindful of Him. Number 2 is reciting Quran, not only in Arabic, but also reading the meanings and really reflecting deeply on what the meanings are. And number 3 is reflecting and meditating on God's creation. So for me, that means God's creation means nature. So taking that time, alone time, to spend in nature and reflecting and meditating and just being present. And that just means just turning off your phone, getting away from everybody, and just go outside, go to the park, go where there's whereas trees and nature. Okay, so even if you're spending time with animals too, but in Toronto that's difficult, but there's lots of beautiful parks around here where you can just sit down and reflect and look at Allah's creation. And so when I was thinking about these two root causes, I was thinking about what are the origins. And so I'm thinking about, okay, as kids, we are born into this world pure and good. And so how do these two diseases, these roots, how do they form inside a child? How do they come about? And so as I'm doing my research, I'm thinking like, what kind of parenting would cause these two diseases, or what are like the risk factors that will be not cause, but like what will make it more likely for a child to develop these two diseases. So love of the temporal world, because it's the external, this reminded me of a parent who would just focus on the child's external world. So they're more focused on their marks, their grades, are always comparing them to other kids, and not really getting to know the child's inner world. And so when the child grows up in an environment where the parent only cares about the external of the child, I think that child will grow up to basically look for validation only in the external world. And so they develop this disease of the love of the world. So this reminded me of an authoritarian parent. This kind of parent is those strict parents who they don't care about your feelings and emotion. They don't care about what you think. It's all about what they say. So they're like the commander in the house. It's you do what I say. I don't care what you think. You better come home with good grades. You better be perfect. And so this child grows up with, they're lacking that love and affection from the parent, and so their external world is very void and empty inside, and they're hurting. So they learn that their self-worth comes from the outside. And then for the second one, for self-satisfaction, this is a person who has no rules, no boundaries. So what kind of parent is this? This is a permissive parent. These parents, they do show a lot of love and affection, and they try to give the child everything they want, but there's no consequences and no boundaries, and the kids need boundaries to thrive. And so this child grows up to have this disease, a self-satisfaction disease, where they're just self-satisfied with themselves. They don't push themselves outside their comfort zone. They don't try to do better. They think they're perfect. And so it just made sense that these two diseases kind of stem from those two extreme parenting styles. So I always try to find the connection between like modern psychology, what I learned in university and do my research, and then and then connecting it to Islamic psychology and spirituality. So I thought that was interesting that those two root causes stem from those two extreme parenting styles. I just thought when that came to me, I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like it makes more sense. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. So as parents, we want to make sure that we're not falling into those two extremes, and that we want to be authoritative parents, not authoritarian or permissive parents. So we want to not be that strict parent who doesn't connect with their child. Make sure you're connecting with the child, but at the same time, you're giving them boundaries and rules and consequences for their behavior. You're always try to push them to do better, and not forgetting to connect with them and really listening to what they say, their feelings, their emotions. That's also important too. And so that is the end of the video. Those are the two root causes that kind of stem from those two extreme parenting styles. And so make notes, really think about what I told you, try to implement what I said, and leave your comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next video, where we're going to start talking about the first disease of the heart, which is miserliness or greed, if you want to call it that. So we'll go more into detail in the next video. Okay guys, make sure you guys share this video, like, subscribe to my channel, and share it to others who will benefit. Anybody who is interested in psychology, mental health, emotional wellness, purification of the heart. Share it to those who will benefit. Yeah, because I just want to share this information that I've been kind of, it's been growing inside of me all these years. I learned all this stuff through my research and through my personal, basically, journey in mental health. I had mental health issues before, and I've gotten so much better right now, and I'm just in that phase of my life where I'm able to function and share what I learned, and I hope it can benefit others. I used to be in a very dark place. Like, for most of my 20s, I was going through a lot: depression, anxiety, panic attacks, a lot of health issues. And it was a very dark time for me in my 20s. And then in my 30s is where I was kind of doing the healing work. I am now 38, and I'm just ready to share what I've learned, basically. And so, yeah, so share this video, and I hope to connect with you guys. And yeah, thanks for following along in this series, and I would look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Okay, bye. Assalamu alaikum.